Thanks for tuning in to our seller interview series. Up today, we've got an Amazon affiliate business for sale in the outdoor sports niche. Created in December 2015, this business makes $2,225 per month in net profit, and the listing number for this business is 40953. Now, we do these interviews to give potential buyers more information about both the seller and the sites they're looking to purchase. We hope these insights are helpful for you in making a buying decision. We've got the seller with us today to go through the business and cover everything from niche selection to traffic and monetization. Thanks for coming on, Tom.
Hey, no, thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, it's good talking to you again, man. Now, obviously, before we get into the questions here, just to do a quick summary for everyone out there listening in, as I mentioned, it was built in December 2015, has that monthly revenue of $2,288, with the expenses sitting at $63 per month for that total net profit of $2,225 per month. Now, that is over a 6-month average. And included with the sales, obviously the domain, the content, files, social media accounts, as well as the second domain, the 301, the analytics, as well as the seller strategies for Upwork and SEO. So that being said, Tom, I know you, but for our audience out there who may not have heard of you, can you give us a little bit of your background in building and running online businesses?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so I originally started my first online business at the age of 13. I've just kind of built it up from there, really. Now, 24. Yeah, I've been doing internet marketing for many, many years. SEO is my main thing. So that's kind of been the driving force for a lot of the sites that we build. And this site is just like a side project that I've been running for the past couple of years now. And yeah, just getting to the point where we need to put a lot more money into other things. So yeah, there's just not a lot of point in me kind of holding on to it anymore. So yeah, that's it.
So, this site, which began as a side project, and sounds like it's pretty much remained as a side project, but how did you come up with the idea for this business without giving away the niche? Was it some competitor research, or was it a niche that you were already kind of interested in? How did that come about?
Yeah, so it was an interesting one. Basically, I had a FBA product that I set up in the same niche around the same time. And I set this site up specifically to drive traffic across to try and make sales for that product. And it started to turn out that, the product wasn't the best thing because the competition was very, very high. And there were other products that were a bit better. So I started that's now closed. And I started to quickly realize after setting this site up that it was generating a hell of a lot of traffic. So instead of trying to pass the traffic across, I may as well turn it into an affiliate site and go from there. And it's just kind of taken off and made so much more money than the business. So broke that off quite early. And then that's how it all came about, really. It was interesting, man.
Oh, that's an interesting story. Yes. So do you still have the Amazon FBA project, or have you discontinued that in favor of just the affiliate model with the site?
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. Discontinued that, and it's just so much easier to kind of like just have a writer set up, do a little bit of SEO here and there. There's just barely any work to it. Whereas obviously important products, I'm just on the phone all the time and trying to match everything up. It's just a nightmare. So I much prefer the affiliate passive income, and actually, it's made way more than the other products. So
that's funny. So for someone looking at this business, and maybe this is their first online business they're looking at, they're not quite familiar with what Amazon Associates and affiliate marketing is, could you just briefly, in a few sentences, describe how the business is actually making its money?
Yeah, sure. So I'll start off with what I originally started doing was the site basically ranks for every single product in this specific niche. So there's like a product page for every single product. So originally that was driving a lot of traffic in, and I switched all the links over so that they were then linking direct to Amazon. So what happens in this, like two parts to it basically. So someone searching for that particular product, they click on it from Google, has all the stars in Google and everything. They see the product, they go, okay, find the lowest price, click that, they go to Amazon, they like the product because it's exactly what they searched for, and then they purchase from there. And then I would get a cut of that sale. So Amazon affiliate is like the simplest and easiest way of making money online, in my opinion. But then on top of that, you also get commission based on everything that they purchase in that purchase on Amazon. So sometimes it could be, especially at Christmas, it just goes mad. people order 20 or so other products in the same order, and you get commission on all of that. So the actual like price per order is a lot higher than just this one particular product.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the really cool things about the Amazon affiliate program. You can see all sorts of random stuff that isn't even related to your niche you're buying.
It's quite funny, the late night ones that come in.
I bet.
This makes me laugh.
I used to have old D&D, like Dungeons and Dragons, Amazon affiliate site selling like dice. There was some very intriguing purchases that they made outside the niche.
It's funny. It's always really, really, really early in the morning in America that you get the funny stuff. It's always a laugh every day.
So, you mentioned a couple times about how Amazon affiliate is one of the easiest way to make money, and it is true. A lot of the work is front loaded on sites like this, and after that's kind of all done, it's very minimal to maintain it. So why are you selling the business? Why not just keep it and grow it, or keep that kind of somewhat passive income coming in?
Yeah, so that's a great question. Yeah, basically all I'm looking to do is take the sell value from this site and put it into two of our other sites that we're heavily investing in, just to grow them at a much larger rate. Because obviously you have to wait 2 months before you get paid from Amazon. So when we're starting a much larger site, you have to put a lot into it to start with before you see the payment out of it. So I need to just kind of move some funds over to that. But yeah, if I didn't have those other projects, I would just leave it, because it's still increasing in revenue every month. So
yeah, that makes sense. So you're going to use the capital from the sale of this site to invest into your other sites.
Exactly, yeah.
When you first started this side project of yours, what was the trajectory like in those first few weeks and maybe the first few months? Did you start ranking right away, or did that take a while?
Yeah, so it did start ranking right away. The good thing is that I was going after all these individual little products to start with. So that was bringing in an insane amount of traffic, because all the other big e-commerce sites that were ranking for all these little products, their silo structure was terrible. None of the product pages were optimized or anything. So I just kind of came in there for all these long tail searches and just started ranking number one for, well, definitely the first page for loads of stuff within the first few weeks and months. So yeah, that's it just kind of ramped up really, really quickly the more kind of pages we added. So
that's awesome. It's not something you hear very often with organic site. Usually it's the more of a slow burn, so that's good.
Yeah, that's it.
Is there anything you learned from this business in particular that you're going to be applying to your future sites and businesses, like something that just worked really well for you?
Yeah, so making the transition from going after like super long tail stuff that wasn't quite buyer intent, but it would drive traffic, to then switching to what is now the substantial amount of articles that are buyer intent. So best, blah, 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 buy, blah, blah, blah. And making that switch is obviously sent the conversion rates a lot higher. The traffic converts a lot more, and the amount that the site makes is a lot more from there. So I think it's good bringing in traffic into like blog posts and things, but actually having the blog posts that are talking about, the top 10 best, whatever your niche is definitely one of the best ways to go about it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a high value commercial piece of content for sure. Is there anything on the flip side here that didn't work? Maybe something you wish you hadn't done?
No, it literally all just kind of fit into place.
Selling.
yeah, very, very easy. So yeah, no, definitely not.
So I believe I already know the answer to this question, but where's your traffic coming from? Is it all Google organic, or do you actually have other sources of traffic coming in?
Yeah, so it's mainly organic. It's mainly coming in through Google, but there's still a portion of it that's coming in from social media. So that would be due to the Instagram page. It's got like 50,000 followers on it. The Facebook page, which has got like 12,000 odd, and a few other places that the content kind of syndicates out to as well. So yeah, I didn't want to rely solely on Google traffic, because I wanted it to come from social as well. It just kind of diversifies things a bit more, and it brings the risk down. Not that there's any real risk with this site, because it's all built white hat. So
right.
But yeah, it's mainly organic.
It's cool you have quite a large social media following, at least on Instagram there. I think this is a really good niche too, as far as it goes for doing a social media push. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
When it comes to earnings for this business, do you find that you have just like one or two pages are your main earners, or is the money kind of the money pages, if you will, spread throughout the entire site?
Yeah, so it is spread. There's not one or two that are really doing better than others. It's probably about 20 to 30 pages that are kind of making all the money, which is really good. But a lot of the smaller pages, I think there's like 1,500 pages on the site now. A lot of the smaller pages bring traffic in, and then the person actually goes in and then clicks on other pages and then converts from there. So it's definitely helping having all those smaller pages rank for the long tail as well.
And how stable are the earnings? Is there any kind of seasonality at all with this business?
So obviously, come Christmas time, there's a huge amount, as with any affiliate site, and it's kind of been a progressive upward trend again since Christmas. So I think, as with any site, it is going to be Christmas is just going to be absolutely massive compared to everything else. But yeah, come summer and then Christmas again, it's just on a upward trend like crazy. So
That's good. That's good. You mentioned you had 1,500 pages of content on the site right now?
yeah,
Oh, that's quite a lot.
yeah. So basically, that was all relatively free, relatively cost free. So I was basically pulling in content from other sites, and I was using like a really, really, really good spinner. So this was right at the start, back in December when I first created it. And all those tiny, tiny little pages, as I said, they were just ranking for all the product terms that just drive a load of traffic, and Google just absolutely loves them. So the main bulk of the money has just been spent on the actual best of articles, which are the ones that actually drive the majority of the sales.
You have that all outsourced to writers, or are you writing that yourself?
No, so I've got a writer who I can give the details to the buyer. He's really, really good, super, super cheap, which is obviously why the costs have been so low. And I've just been doing like 1 to 2 articles a month as and when. Yeah, and I'm just checking them before they go out, and that's it, really. He adds them all to the site as well, so.
Oh, nice. So he does all the formatting for you.
Yep, everything.
That is nice. Now, you mentioned included with the assets of this business is a 301 domain. For someone out there that doesn't quite understand what that means, could you explain what the 301 is and why you went about doing it?
Yeah, so I think it was back in January, February time of last year. I started testing out different SEO strategies. So I picked up a domain name that wasn't dropped or expired. It was in an auction, so it was still good. And it was 10 or so years old. It had a lot of authority, a lot of backlinks in the exact same kind of niche as this. And basically, when you redirect that website to this one, it kind of passes a percentage of the links and the link juice, and kind of just beefs up the domain overall. So it kind of just helps it all out and adds more authority to the site. So now it could actually be removed because the site has so much power on its own. I've just left it because there's not a lot of point of removing it at the moment. But it's basically just redirecting one powerful domain to another to help boost up the other one, or the new one.
So what is some of the other SEO strategies that you use on the site? You mentioned that it's all white hat, so I'm assuming guest posting, or what are you doing for backlinks outside of the 301 domain?
So I decided to avoid PBNs and just go with the whole white hat approach. So it was literally, a small amount of guest posts and mainly just links in existing articles on other people's websites, which you can just get for an insanely low price. And, it's on articles that are talking about everything that's on my sites. It's super niche relevant. The articles are aged, and they're happy to put a link in for next to nothing. So, it's about as legitimate as it gets.
Well, that's great, man. Were you using a tool like BuzzStream to reach out to a bunch of these people, or did you have like some secret sauce strategy?
So we're using Pitchbox.
Pitchbox.
Yeah, I just really, really like the interface on it. I'm just getting them super cheap. So, I mean, for the buyer, I can provide information for that and kind of where to get them from and things. So
That's very cool, man. Speaking of opportunities for the buyer, let's just pretend for a moment, like hypothetically, you're going to keep the business, you're not going to sell it, and you want to grow it. What would be the least risky path you'd focus on to grow this business?
I will continue to go after the best of articles just because the return on investment is nuts. Like the amount it costs to create the article is next to nothing, and you put a few links onto it and it starts ranking because no one is really ranking in this niche for anything. Like this is the authority site for this particular niche, which is, yeah, a little bit crazy since there's literally there's no competition for anything. So you don't need many links. It's all just content based. So yeah, I would do a bit more keyword research, add more posts and things, and yeah, just continue at that rate really. And also another thing I forgot to mention is I started going after a slightly different niche within sports and outdoors to kind of diversify things a little more. So I mean, there's two other absolutely giant niches that are bigger than this original site that I've already started going after. So the number of keywords and pages and posts that you could create from those two others, could 5 times the amount it's making quite easily within 6 months or a year or so.
And those two other niches you mentioned, you're actually exploring that niche on this website, correct? You're adding those articles to this domain?
Yeah, that's it. So I specifically wanted to do that because I knew that I was going to list the site over the past 4 to 5 months. So I thought, right, well, we'll start going after other things so that the new buyer can just come in and have like a gateway to, take this site to the next level kind of thing. So
very cool. Is there anything you would do if you kind of went the flip side and just you were incredibly risky and wanted to grow the business as quickly as possible? Would you do anything different?
Incredibly risky. I think that's difficult. There's not really a lot of risk. I would probably go after like some absolute monstrous keywords and buy or get a lot of links going to it. But even then, it's not really risky. It's just more investment.
Yeah, I understand. Speaking of risk, I know you mentioned there's not too many risks here, but what do you think the biggest risk is that does exist for this business buyers should be aware of?
Biggest risk, I think, if people stop using the product, but I really don't see that happening, as it's just like if you look at the trends of this particular niche, it's just growing at an exponential rate. Apart from that, I definitely don't think the site will be hit by Google. It's survived all the latest Google updates and has just continued to rank higher and higher through them, whilst other people's sites have been kind of dropping off. So yeah, unless Google just died, I don't think that there's a lot that could really happen.
Yeah, that definitely. Google always is the elephant in the room whenever a site gets most of its traffic from SEO, and likewise, there's always Amazon associates possibly changing their affiliate agreement or anything like that. But with that said, yeah, fairly minimal risk as far as an online business goes. So with that said, what is the work required for this business? So what are you doing right now on like a weekly or monthly basis?
Yeah, so I'm literally just adding a few links here and there throughout the month and setting up, 1 to 2 articles a month for the writer to go in and create and add to the site. So it's super, super minimal at the moment because I'm just spending so much time on my other sites. So it's just kind of ticking over, but we're halfway through the month of May and it's already made as much as it had in total in April last month. So
Nice.
it's just constantly growing. Yeah. So
Very cool, man. Is there any skills you'd recommend that a buyer have before they purchase a business like this?
communication skills with VAs on Skype. I think that's literally like because the writer does everything. He uploads it to WordPress and everything, and that's pretty much it. Apart from knowing about SEO, like the basics, really. I mean, even that I can give guidance on. Yeah, and just basic WordPress, really. There's so many YouTube videos you can learn the ins and outs of WordPress in half a day or so. So yeah, basic WordPress, basic SEO, and communication. That's pretty much it.
I think those are super important when it comes to managing a writer. Give the writer a bunch of emojis to make them feel good. Yeah. This is very important strategy.
Yeah.
Moving to some wrap-up questions here. Would you be willing to commit to a non-compete with the buyer?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I've no interest in going into the same niche. We're already far into other niches to look at other things at the moment. So yeah, I would definitely be up for signing one. Yeah.
How much support would you be willing to offer that buyer?
Yeah, 30 days I think is adequate. So yeah, I can provide a couple phone calls over Skype and some videos and things that I've sent my VAs, which pretty much sums up everything. So I've got like video tutorials on how to basically do everything on the site. So yeah, what my VA knows, the owner will know.
So obviously the best case scenario here for you and for Empire Flippers is someone comes in and buys the business for full price. But would you at all be open to a split or earn out, say 80% up front and then a 20% earn out over a certain period, or perhaps after a certain training period has passed, something like that?
Yeah, an 80-20 split, I'd be up for that. Yeah, I just kind of need the majority of it to reinvest. So yeah, I'd definitely be up for 80% down.
Fantastic. Before I ask you my final question here, Tom, just to do a quick summary, a recap, if you will, for everyone listening in. This business was built in December 2015, has a monthly revenue of $2,288 with expenses sitting at $63 for that total net profit of $2,225. And that is over a 6-month average. Included with the sale of the business is the domain, the site content, files, social media accounts with a fairly large Instagram following. A second domain that is a powerful domain that's 301 redirected to the main domain, as well as the analytics and the seller's strategies for managing Upwork and SEO. So my final question for you, Tom, is what is your best pitch in 30 seconds or less on why someone should purchase this business?
Okay, yeah, let's go for it. So yeah, I think that this site is a great investment for someone who's looking for a consistent income that is increasing each month. As I said before, we're halfway through the current month and it's already made more than April. The site has been built on a solid foundation of outreach links. It's lasted the past Google updates that have come up. So the risk is massively lowered because it's not propped up on a PBN network that could crumble your investment like other sites and that. Yeah, I think it's perfect for a beginner or a veteran in the game, and I can guide the new owner on how to get the best ROI from the smallest amount of work spent each month. Yeah, and I also revealed the low-cost SEO strategy that I use and how I got the Instagram account to 50,000 followers on autopilot. So I think that might be useful.
That was a pretty good pitch. I'm curious.
There we go.
So, yeah. So for anyone out there, if you're watching this on YouTube and you want more information about this business, the link will be below this video in the description. That will take you to our marketplace listing. If you're watching this on the actual listing page and you want more information, you can become a depositor today. It's super simple. All you have to do is click the button, make a deposit, and you're given everything you need to review this business. So Tom, thank you so much for coming on, man. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, no, thank you very much for having me. Appreciate it.